squirrel's out there, boys. If I get a shot at him, he's out there at 50 yards or better. That's right at 50 yards, boys. I done lasered it. He's coming up here dropping nuts on that roof right there of that building. I hear him. See that building right there? But he may not be the one I heard dropping them nuts on that building. He come out from under that hill right there. Alright. When I lasered before, I was lasering in that hickory right there, okay? So I've re-lasered where I shot that squirrel out of that tree right there, 53 yards. I remember the leaves on that hickory are coming back toward me off the trunk of that tree yonder. When I measured that trunk of that tree right there, 53 yards, okay? And I was out on a 50-yard zero with a little incline angle. Zing slugs, boys. This damn gun shoots these slugs, okay? I may show you a 5-shot group I shot this morning at 50 yards before I even come hunting. And the reason why I did it is I cut my case this gun come in to fit this whole entire setup with a moderator removed. I hauled it around yesterday, and I just wanted to see if anything had went wrong with it. And everything is spot on, looks like to me, okay? The old hick from the sticks. Alright, boys, it's hot and dry here. It's already up in the 80s, way up in the 80s, okay? 950. First squirrel shot straight up over my head, okay? A male, we're going to talk about this here in a minute. 52 yards. You see what happened to that squirrel? 52 yards. Now, I've not looked at the trigger cam footage to see the angle that squirrel was at. I don't see. I guess that could be an exit wound right there. Or maybe that's the exit wound. Went through him like that. See that? I am a squirrel hunting professional, okay? That's a fact. Now, let me say this, and I seen this again this morning, and here is the old sharpshooter's take. I don't believe a company has made the right sounding squirrel call. And if a company would work with me, I might, if I can hear it, it needs to sound like a little growling bear, okay? This squirrel here that came in over the top of my head, you'll see I had him in the trigger cam before I shot him as soon as, I don't know what it was, I suspect it was 2 young squirrels that come out of this tree, and I seen a limb shake back to my right behind me. And they was a growling and a running and moving them limbs, and when they started that old male squirrel right there, boys, he come out on that hill hauling ass to check it out, okay? Sounds like 2 little bears are growling at one another. That's the squirrel call that needs to be made. And during the rut part of the squirrel season would be deadly. And naturally, you see that long stick right there I've got in the back of this truck? That would be very handy if I had a squirrel call like that. Why is that? Because I could intentionally get around a low-lying limb or a bush and make some noise with that stick right there and hit that call. Odds-wise, if there's a male squirrel, adult male squirrel anywhere around, he's going to come hauling ass, okay? He's going to quit eating and he's going to start moving. Now, that squirrel sort of come up and sort of stopped. Once he got up there and got a look-see, he might have seen it was them 2 young squirrels. It ain't what he thought it was, if you get my drift, okay? So that's the sharpshooter's take. There's still not a company out there that has made the right sounding squirrel call, in my opinion. And I would help a company if they wanted to contact me. And I guarantee you it'll work, because I've been in the woods enough that I know when you hear two squirrels playing, or you hear the squirrels are in the mating season, there's a certain noise they make. But the fox squirrel's a little different. What the fox squirrel will do is he can make a similar noise, but what a fox squirrel male will do, you'll hear him, he'll bark low. A real low, fast, cadence little bark when he's in pursuit. So that could be something else maybe a company with a squirrel call could consider, okay? But that little growling sound like two bears playing in the woods. Two cub bears are playing, wrestling. That's what the call needs to sound like. Alright? We're going to turn this camera off, and I'm going to take you over here at this 50-yard target I shot this morning. Now, I had this gun in this yesterday. Alright? And what I did is I cut this out. The trigger cam, the hole. Let me turn this camera off briefly. Camera back on. So the trigger cam on that gun, the 700 millimeter liner, everything fits in there. And the barrel is nice and free up here, okay? With a 580cc bottle. With a sling on it. I'll show you the gun here in a minute. All I have to do is take the moderator off and put it in that slot there, and take the magazine out and put it in that slot right there, okay? So I tested it this morning after I hauled it around, you know, and I had to do a little cutting on that yesterday. You see the gun right there? And this sling right here. And this Saber Tactical Arca rail with the sling up here all stays intact. All I have to do is take off the moderator and take out the magazine. Okay, and I can take this damn thing to the woods. I see some of these people, you know, they'll put these guns in these cases, and they'll make comments, or they set them up before they start hunting. Well, hell, I don't want to do that bullshit. How you gonna go hunting at the damn crack of daylight if you got to set your damn gun up before you go hunting? You know, I don't do that with a damn rimfire rifle. Okay, so that's what I do with that one. Alright, let me turn this camera off. We'll go over here and I'll show you this target. There's the group right there. Okay, 5 shots. Dry firing the gun one time. Because I brought it out of the house this morning. Alright, and then engaged that X right there, that intersection. Okay, that's before I went hunting, because I wanted to just check and see. The old hick from the sticks, the FX Impact M4. I'm liking that gun. Okay, I can hunt in some areas and hunt the periphery. You know, when you're hunting the periphery and an old loud gun goes off, squirrels are more high strung when they're in the edge of woods, but that's where you can generally see them. You get better viewing.